Well, good morning, everyone. It is Friday, January 23rd, 2026, and we are waiting for the snow again to hit all over the country. Oh my gosh, you guys, they have made such a big deal about this. And I'm telling you, I just have to believe there's more going on there than meets the eye. What do you think?
Mm. It's going to be wind chills here in southeast Kansas of between 10 and 20 below zero.
Wow. Wow.
I am
Jeez.
minus 12 this morning. Feels like minus 39 in the wind chill
It's minus
this
12
morning.
right now?
Yes,
Holy smokes. You've got to be kidding me.
It is.
she's chilly.
It's 14 degrees here. Feels like -4.
Holy smokes. No, thank you guys. I'm sorry. Not going for it. Not happening.
City slicker.
Yeah, I know. It was, well, let's see. This morning, well, and it's up to 57 degrees here now, but 50 degrees or below, I'm not down. No thanks. I'll pass. Hard
You're
pass.
staying in, huh?
Hey, buddy,
Yes.
we're going coyote hunting tonight in the negative degrees. Are you kidding me?
Oh man. That's called some country life right there. Hashtag country life.
That's right.
Exactly. All right, well, let's say some good mornings here. Who do we have with us this morning? Wendy is here. Good morning, Wendy. Happy Freaky Friday, Wendy said. Rick Senior's here. Jason Coons, Barb7599. She said, what a cool intro. Well, thanks to Alex. Yes. Let's see here. Steph. Hey, Steph. Barb7599. D said, happy Friday, y'all. Exactly. Pureblood Holly Johnson. Wow, that's a legit intro. I know, right? Joy is here. Good morning, Joy. Ego is here. He said, good morning from the frozen tundra of Iowa. Ooh. Wendy said, silver hit $100. In case you didn't know, we do, and we're going to talk about it.
Do you see Dave's picture?
Yeah, exactly. Dana Mackey's here. John Gwynn. He said, what a fancy start to the big show. Exactly.
I took a picture in my bedroom this morning. Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
All the silver stacks.
No kidding. Oh, let's see here. Oh, wow. Once again, the chat is on fire. Bat and Ballin here is here said, good morning, Patriots. They say there's a heavy amount of ice in the forecast. Exactly. Doug Rice, 59. PJ Party Peggy is here. Let's see. April Burgess said it. I think it's very cold in Michigan at negative 24 wind chill. Oh, my goodness. Melissa Flynn is here. Lisa Piquel. Benji 1959, Big Ben, Donna Fox, Charles Osborne, Jan, loving being grandma's here. Martini time, Chris Romano. Nutty 81 said, good morning, fellows. Let it snow, let it snow. Yes, indeed. Can you smell what Trump is cooking? Exactly. Oh, gosh. Oh, we got some trolls in the chat. Welcome in, trolls. Glad you could make it. Christy B78 from Hayesville, Kansas is here. Oh, let's see. Chris Romano. Joy said it's 50 here in Vegas. Wow, it's pretty cold over there for them. Deb S., good afternoon from Central Massachusetts. Happy Friday to you as well. And there she is, Lisa Maria. Good morning, Lisa. Jason Coon says it's -5, but it feels like -23 in Nebraska. Ooh. Who was it? Somebody just put in here that they're going ice fishing, and I lost who it was. Oh, it was Doug Rice. Oh, my gosh. Blue Flames 41 is here. Oh, let's see here. Who else we have piling in? David. Good morning, David. Oh, boy. Leonard Little. Hey, Leonard. Rugs 1204. What's that?
I'd have trouble going to the supermarket and reaching my hand to get fish sticks this morning, as cold as it is.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm ice fishing. No thanks. I'll pass. Hard pass. Gen X Holtz is here. Good morning, Gen X.
If you have a hut to go ice fishing, like literally you'll peel layers off because you set your little heater up and it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
It's just getting there. It's just getting there.
Wait, let me think about it. No, pass.
No.
Thanks anyway. Benji 1959 said it's still 51 degrees here, but it's supposed to go to 26 this evening. Huh. Interesting.
Heat wave.
Yeah, no kidding. PJ Party Peggy said we hit 10,000 in 4 minutes. You guys are awesome. Tanya Moonsheimer's here. Good morning, Tanya. King's Girl 1974. Good morning, King's Girl. Little Man 1 is here. He's Brown. Holy smokes, everybody's filing in. Lace and Steel. Good morning, Lace. Scott Ragosa said, is this storm going to be the 10 days of darkness? Well, that's a deep rabbit hole. I don't know that hasn't already happened in some respects, so we'll have to see. Sassy Southwest Minnesota girl is here. Good morning, Sassy. Uh-oh. When did we lose?
Uh-oh. No, my bad. My bad.
Okay, no big deal. I was going to say, wait, I didn't push any buttons. Martin's WB is here. Martin, where the heck you been, man? Glad you can make it. Towie is here. Towie said, technical difficulties, but good morning. iPad updates preventing me from typing, so I went to the phone. Nice. I'm glad you made it, Towie. Let's see here. We have, oh, wow. We got over on Facebook, Kathleen Paschke's here. Richard Vicente on YouTube. Earl Shannon said, good morning, my Patriot brothers. It was negative 36 with a negative 50 this morning. He's an official Eskimo. Exactly. Holy smokes. David Morrell said, hi. 47 is really continuing what 35th started. Boy, isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? NC Patriot over on X said 50 degrees in North Carolina and sunny. Huh, interesting. Earl Shannon. Oh, look at Kathleen Paschke. FYF, for context, this live is for entertainment and educational purposes only. She's on top of it. Thank you, Kathleen. Hey, Vonnie Garling just made it over on Facebook. Hey, Vonnie. Allie Mays here. Holy smokes, you guys. I'm Married to Bob is here. And again, everyone, the chat is moving so fast. If I miss you, please put something in the chat. It's not intentional by any stretch of the imagination. Kim55 is here. Kim said, I'm on Rumbles too, so I can watch from my TV. Oh, nice. Very nice. Oh, and of course, my Rumble feed just locked up on me.
Make sure the hair and everything's in good shape for that big screen TV, guys.
Yeah, no kidding. Charles Osborne said 80 degrees here in Southwest Florida. Oh, go ahead, rub it in, Charles. Why don't you? Tracy Fagan's here. John Langloy, nurse. Holy smokes. Ruggs 1204, good morning to you as well, Ruggs. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, wow. Look at, oh, we got a Trump train. Oh, my gosh. Way to start it off. I like that. Who was it? Mary Lee Brown. Thank you, Mary Lee. You're so sweet. April Burgess is here. Dobermom 79. Holy smokes. All right. Let's get to some indices, Alex.
Okay. Now I can share my screen and it'll not throw everybody off. We'll start out this morning, everybody. Good morning. It is Friday, the 23rd of January, 2026. Welcome in, everybody, on this freezing, frothy day. Just a reminder, everybody, send your heart me's, tap the screen. We hit the 10,000. Thank you. If you're on the other platforms, click the like, share, subscribe. Okay, the business is out of the way. Looking at the crypto market, Bitcoin up 0.4% at 89,983. Ethereum is up 0.4% to 2,962. XRP is up 0.4% at $1.93 by the dip. Cardano up 0.9 at 36 cents. Stellar Lumens currently up 0.8% at 21 cents. And then we get over to the good stuff. The commodities markets, looking at oil, it's up $1.55, sitting at 60 cents a barrel. But here's the big news, everybody. Silver broke $100. We're currently pushing 101, getting close at 166, 68, 67. It's bouncing around. The price of gold, $4,984. So we're up $50 almost for the day. $5 on silver. Where do we think that's going to stop, Sam? Like, is this the trigger? Is this where we're going? Is it going to go parabolic?
Well, that's the real question is, because I had heard that once silver hit $30, it was going to go parabolic. And then it was $50. And then it was $80. Now it's $100. I don't know what to expect. I honestly don't know what to expect.
Well, looking at the markets, they're reacting mixed today. S&P 500 is up 8 points at 6,921. The Dow is down 243 points at 49,140, and the Nasdaq is up 111 points to 23,553. So kind of mixed bag across the board, but the big ones, of course, is gold and silver. We're rooting for that one, folks.
Yeah.
And this old 1964 quarter this morning is worth $18.20.
Wow. Wow.
Well,
Crazy.
I'm not gonna trade you. Just
No,
saying.
I would not yet. Not yet. Let's
Yeah,
narrow it up a little bit.
Not yet.
David Morrell said silver in yuan. That's a very good point. The price of silver, from what I understand in China, is up over $130 an ounce. Now that's supposed to be on the streets and in Japan as well. Now with the with the translation between dollars and yuan, I don't know what to make of it, but boy, I'm telling you, we are in the thick of it. Hey, Magic is here. Good morning, Magic. Andrea Lynn 81 said it's -5 feels like -25 here in Nebraska. Wow. Hometown Girl is here. Subi 27, thank you for all the gifts, everyone. Magic is here. Good morning, Magic. Doug Bryce 59 said, even my farts are freezing. Exactly.
Hey,
That's
Sam,
cold.
it's so cold this morning. I seen a line of chickens standing outside of KFC wanted to get in to get warm.
Exactly. I'm telling you, we're going to see some crazy stuff. Holy
That's
smokes.
right.
My
Oh,
dad,
my God.
my dad, God rest his soul, when it got really cold, thermal underwear, your shirt and pants, he called them chicken skins. So this is definitely chicken skin weather.
For
It
sure.
is.
For sure. Franny Dragonflies here. Good morning, Franny. Wendy J. Welcome in, everybody. Mary Lise Brown, Charlie, Martini Time. Holy smokes. Steph is here. Lace and Steel. Thank you all for the gifts. All right. What do we have for a farming and agriculture report, Dave?
Not too bad today. Hope everybody's beautiful Friday is keeping warm underneath the blankets for sure. Corn is up 4 to 5 cents. Soybeans up 5 to 6. Wheat is up 5 to 8. Cattle across the board is up about 0.5%. Hogs are down just under a 0.1% across the board. Few things on AI is coming to farming. A lot of different things are helping the farmer across the board. And just like everywhere else, it's spiking and helping things. So that'll be fun to watch and fun to be part of.
Yeah, no question. No question. Oh, gosh. Southwest Sassy Minnesota Girl said silver was $23 a few years ago. Well, it was like $28 at the beginning of 2025, wasn't it, Alex?
Correct.
Yeah. So
It's up.
buckle up.
It's up 227% year to date.
Yep. Jammer 4575 said, "Hi all. We love to share our winter with the rest of the USA. Oil country rules." Exactly. Kelly Thurman's here. She said, "Happy Frozen Friday. 72 here in South Texas." Oh, just go ahead and rub it in. Why don't you, Kelly? I get it. Oh my gosh. Hey, Ferg just showed up. Good morning, Ferg. All right, so let's see. Let's jump into some. Oh, and we do have Dr. Glidden coming on at around 9:30. So everybody be prepared for that. So we're going to go through the stories fairly quickly so we can get through as much as we can. President Trump signed and ratified the Board of Peace Charter, officially making the Board of Peace an international organization. And then, interestingly enough, what did he say to Mark Carney over in Canada? He said, "Please let this letter serve to represent that the Board of Peace is withdrawing its invitation to you regarding Canada's joining what will be the most prestigious board of leaders ever assembled at any time." There's got to be more to that story that we just don't know about. You guys, what do you think, Alex?
Honest opinion, I really think that he is setting up an alternative to NATO
And to the UN.
and to the UN and all of these world organizations, New World Order, what were they designed for originally, and what are they doing today? Two very different paradigms, right? And as he's setting up, and you look at the countries that he's pulling into this, um, it truly is an age of peace, I believe, is coming, and he's countering everything that they're trying to do. The script is great. Like,
Yeah.
Sapioplex and AF Anon have me on this whole script thing, and holy crap.
Yeah,
Damn it.
we're going to get them back on again for their input. Earl Shannon said, I just read that if silver hits between 125 and 130, the banks will collapse. So here's the thing. What they're talking about is silver shorts, where they bet that the price of silver was going to go down. But here's the thing. Most of the big banks are $2, $3, $4 trillion strong. Even if the entire silver market went kaplooey, that would only represent a very small percentage of what the banks hold. So I don't see that collapsing the banks, but forcing them into a monetary switch. So I don't think there's going to be a collapse of the banks. I think we're already in the process of the switch taking place, but I don't think no matter what price silver hits, it's going to collapse the banks. And I don't think the Patriots would allow that to happen anyway. If you collapse the banks, we would have Armageddon overnight. And I don't think they're going to allow that to happen. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, there was rumors of J.P. Morgan being short, and they sold it off to other banks within the last 6 months, 8 months, something like that. Is what they're talking about. But yeah, we'll see what happens on that side of the deal. But coming back to the Board of Peace, it's $1 billion fee. I don't know if that's yearly or just the initial requirement to pay it to be members of it. And obviously, with the Canadian Prime Minister stepping towards China, it's going to be interesting. And Alberta pulls out in July. That's all helping.
Yeah, 100%. So moving on, the U.S. officially pulled out of the WHO, the World Health Organization. Now, I can speak from experience over the last 3 decades. I can remember, I don't know if people realize this, but the WHO was trying to take supplements, vitamins and supplements, and make them so that you had to have a prescription for them. And they had tried to pass that legislation for 25, 30 years, and they were never successful. Now that their legs have been taken out from underneath them, I don't think that they have any weight whatsoever to push. Now that we're out of it, I think they're done. What do you think, Alex?
I think, again, going back to what we just talked about, NATO, UN, WEF, IMF, it's all, he is creating the counterculture to all of the systems that have been in place for a long time that we all know, on this show anyway, don't work. Not in our best interest.
Right, exactly. Dave?
Yeah, the U.S. is the largest contributor towards them, 15.6% of their total revenue. And we walked away with $278 million in unpaid dues. So,
Right.
see you later.
Melissa Flinner said, we're the only ones ever paying into NATO. Well, there's a lot of truth to that. And the UN, which I think was a nefarious organization for decades, they're done. I think the Board of Peace, as Alex said, is probably going to be the instrument that will modulate world affairs at some level. And I think the UN's done. I think NATO's done. I just don't think they've rolled it out optically yet. President Trump. Exactly. That's interesting. So President Trump dropped a truth bomb yesterday. He said, if the U.S. could cut out 50% of the fraud in America, we'd have a balanced budget. Well, that begs the question, if he's saying that, how much of the national debt, and I use that in quotation marks, is legitimate? I would venture to guess to say none of it. What do you think, Alex?
I say none of it. Like, it's a giant Ponzi scheme, right? Like, it's a huge Ponzi scheme. And when America is generating enough income that it doesn't have to go to the Federal Reserve and borrow money anymore, what happens? Like,
Right.
Follow the logical conclusion here. The old paradigms don't work anymore. The mandate was put forth by the people. Enough is enough. And God, the dude's broom is there's not a dustpan big enough for all the cleanup he's going to be doing. And I've said it before. If we sat down and put our heads together and we wrote out what we thought was going to happen, in our wildest dreams, we couldn't ever come up with what's coming.
Very true. Very true, Dave.
Well, and that goes to show you, I think we've just seen the tip of the iceberg on all the fraud from Minnesota, and they're in Maine, and they're in Boston, and all that other stuff. So it's coming, and it wouldn't it be nice to put our tax money where it belongs and where it's supposed to go, and what that would do for just the people of the United States,
Yeah, exactly. And talking about the fraud, Kevin Kiley, who I think is the only congressman or one of the only congressmen here in California worth his salt, was talking about fraud specifically in California. He said $32 billion in COVID relief payment fraud, $24 billion of unaccountable homeless relief, $18 billion of high-speed rail fraud, $2.5 billion of food stamp fraud, and $650 million of 911 system that never worked. Now, that's what we know about. My guess is those numbers are what's really is going to happen, it's going to dwarf those numbers. What do you think, Dave?
Well, Trump told the governor that we'll be there to help. We'll take care of you. He doesn't want him to because it's going to expose a lot of stuff, and it's coming. So they don't have a choice. It's coming, and it's exciting, and it's going to be a big one. Let's put it that way.
Exactly, Alex.
I hacked the phone system and I intercepted a phone call between Trump and Gavin Newsom.
You're fired.
Exactly. So true.
And if you look at what happened over in Davos with Newsom, who was supposed to speak, they yanked it, right? And then again, you go back to the whole script thing. Like you couldn't script this any better than it's playing out. And what's the logical conclusion to all of this? It is more and more people. If you look at legitimate polls like Rasmussen, who are putting out accurate numbers about where the country is at, and it doesn't matter left, right, middle, center, whatever the case may be. When you put them together, like enough is enough, and the corruption, the gerrymandering, the blue slips, like all of these things. What a great time to be alive, folks.
Exactly. Benji 1959 said those systems were actually stealing from us. The whole system was designed to steal our wealth. You're absolutely right, Ben. Lace and Steel, thank you for the money gun. That's so sweet. No, I'm not. There's no polls here. I'm not getting on a poll. Let's see. Why not? Moni Gog said, why not refund us all? Well, I think that's where it's coming. I think that's where it's going. Money, I think that we're looking at the Sovereign Wealth Fund. How many of the corporations now has President Trump got the United States to be a vested partner in? I think those funds will funnel to the Sovereign Wealth Fund. I think federal income tax will go away, and we'll be getting checks as American citizens. And I'd like to highlight American citizens getting checks. Rick Sr. said, I think they'll find fraud in all the states, 100%. The whole system is built on fraud. Batten Ballin said, Sam, I sent you a DM with a TikTok video of a young man. Oh, the Trump train! There we go. Nice. Anyway, Batten Ballin said, Sam, I sent you a DM with a TikTok video of a young man that has discovered fraud in California. Batten Ballin, I'm sure you did, and I'm sure I saw it, but I get so many messages every day. I apologize. I don't know which one that was right off the top of my head. Friendly Dragonfly, thank you for the Trump train. I like to blow Alex's out again. Oh, yeah, please send it again, and I'll take a look again. All right, let's move on. Saudi Arabia officially accepts the invitation to join the U.S. President Trump's Board of Peace. It kind of reminds me of 2017 when President Trump went to Saudi Arabia and did the sword dance that no other president has ever done. What do you make of it, Dave?
Capitulation.
Yeah, exactly. And we're surprised that Saudi Arabia signed up. That's 35 countries that signed up. That's $35 billion towards the Board of Peace. So it's going to be fun to see what that eliminates. So just like we talked.
Exactly. Alex?
Nothing to add. We already covered it. Like we are systematically removing the old paradigms and systems, and the new Board of Peace, I think, is going to be an accountable group of world leaders that are going to hold other world leaders accountable.
Yeah, exactly. Jan Love and me and Grandma said, "Sorry, Alex, I tried to warn you." That's part of the fun of it, though. We never know when they're coming. Melissa Flinner said, "I believe it's the same one that they found in Minnesota." Interesting. Scott Regrosa is here. Good morning to you as well, Scott. Benji 1959 said, "Let's go." Well, we're going, Ben. I'm telling you, it's happening right now. Squiggly 77 said, "So what is the funds going to fund by the Board of Peace?" That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I don't know what's going to happen there, but my guess is it's somehow, some way is going to funnel, at least a portion of it's going to funnel back to the Sovereign Wealth Fund, not just for here in America, but the Sovereign Wealth Funds, the countries that are involved in that. Hey, Mama Soprano's here. Good morning, Mama.
What do the funds for UN go towards?
Yeah, very good point. Very good point. All right, let's see here. Lisa Piquel said the taps are addictive. They're kind of fun. Exactly. Crystal Zeski's here. Good morning, Crystal. All right, so President Trump sued JP Morgan Chase and its CEO, Jamie Dimon, in a $5 billion lawsuit for debanking him for political reasons. Now, President Trump has sued mainstream media. He's suing banks. I mean, it's just one parade of lawsuits after another for President Trump. And I don't think he's lost any of them yet at this point. Alex, what do you know?
Well, also we have the Federal Communications Commission coming in and looking at all stations and programs, because we are coming into a season of election, and this is a midterm year. And what does that look like when all of the media and things that are being put out are slanted one way, right? Like that's not, again, there's not a dustpan big enough for all the trash this dude is cleaning up. When you look at what happened to us in the previous administration, with social media filtering, with the debanking, I mean, again, the script, like you couldn't have wrote a better script to wake up the average human to the bullshit going on. Like,
right.
Incredible. Keep
exactly.
going, Mr. Trump. We love it.
David said, "Capitulation. Get on board before that one leaves town." Yeah, exactly. It's happening as we speak. Valerie James just showed up. Good morning, Valerie. Glad you could make it. Andrea Lynn 81 said the FBI just did a press conference. They arrested Ryan Wedding. Arrests are happening. I don't know who Ryan Wedding is. Do you guys know who it is?
It might be one of the guys that went in the church. Maybe was that it or not?
I think so.
That could be it. Yeah.
Well, we can get into that, but yeah, continue on.
Sherry said, "Howdy, happy Friday from East Tennessee, praying to not lose power with upcoming ice storm." Yes, our prayers and good thoughts go out to everybody who's in that line of the path of that storm, if there is really that significant a storm.
Ryan Wedding, a 44-year-old Canadian former Olympic snowboarder who competed in the 2002 Olympics, was arrested in Mexico City today, and exonerated, extradited to the United States. He's been on the fugitives most wanted top 10 list, $15 million reward, charges, criminal enterprises tied to the Sinaloa cartel.
Oh, interesting. You know, and with regard to that storm, somebody sent me a video, and I don't remember who it was. My apologies. But it was talking about an interstate between Oklahoma and Texas that was shut down yesterday.
I-40.
What's that?
I-40.
I-40. There was no storm. There was no accidents. There was nothing there other than they were taking everyone off of the interstate and forcing them into a federal way station. And some people just got waved through. Other people got stopped. So when we talk about the possibility that there's more going on here than just some storm. It sure seems like that way. It sure seems that way to me, but I don't know for sure. Just something to think about, not to get upset about or fear about, but something to keep your eyes on. As we always say, keep your head on a swivel. So Democrats have joined Republicans in voting that Clinton's in contempt of Congress. Now, are we going to see some silver bracelets, you guys? What do you think, Dave?
God willing. Let's see. Let's hope. Yeah, at least we know there's some Democrats going against it. So, I mean, if they did it for a few of the Trump guys, obviously they need to follow through, even if it's a first lady and a president. So,
right, exactly. And isn't it interesting that the precedent has already been set that a former president, could be arrested? Interesting. Alex?
Again, this is what the American people voted for. I think when the dominoes really start to fall, looking at people being arrested and what they're being arrested for and where they're being arrested, what judges, whether it's federal or state, are in place at the time to see the case, like this whole story starts to unfold about, what judges were elected by what administration and what is the stark contrast between the rulings. And like, there's such a mess to clean up in all of this. Everyone that's so agitated and they want to arrest. If we don't have law and justice in place correctly, the judges' positions are not to be political. They're not. It is to look at the law as it is written and apply it to the situation. And that hasn't happened in a lot of places for quite a while. That's what has to be fixed first before the arrests can happen. So we're just going to have to be patient. But again, dude's got the big broom out. He's cleaning house.
Right. Franny Dragonfly said that my hubby saw that when he passed through there, I guess off the I-40. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot going on, you guys. I don't know what to make of all of it at this point, but there's a hell of a lot more going on than meets the eye. Okay, Dr. Glidden's almost here. We're just going to go through a couple quick. This one I want to do a survey here. Elon Musk said, "My prediction is there'll be more robots than people. Everyone on Earth is going to have one and going to want one. Who wouldn't want a robot to watch over your kids, take care of your pets? We're in the most interesting time in history." I want to do a quick survey. If you would be willing to receive a robot, whether you had to pay for it or they gave it for free, put a 1 in the chat. If there's no way you would have one of those robots, put a 2. 1, yes, you want a robot. 2, you don't. I'm just kind of curious as to.
Would the
real
robot
Alex, of course, 3. What's that?
I want 3 robots.
Oh, okay. So listen to this.
Would the robot yell at me if I was late for dinner?
Yeah, exactly.
No, then I want one.
PJ Party said, hell no. Benji 1959, 1. Rick Sr., 1. Bat and Ballin, 1. Jan Levin V and Grandma, 1. Elmer Soprano, 2. Diana Lynn, 1. Jason Coons, 1. Brian said, no, I'd probably fall in love with it. Exactly, Brian. Jeez. Layson Steele said, yes, 1 to clean my house.
That's not the kind of robots we were talking about.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, they could do whatever you could essentially program, I think, for anything. Crystal Zeski said, yes, I need help around here. 1.
He said 1 brunette.
What? Exactly. Oh. JP Metal Slayer said, I'll take 3 of them. I'd put it to work. Exactly. So it's kind of a mixed bag. Donna Fox said 2. Beef Man said no. Hell no. Brian said, darn it. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, let's see. I want to, we're not going to worry about that. Let's see this. Okay. So let's bring Dr. Glidden on and get him going here. We're a little late for you there. Well, good morning, Dr. Glidden.
Good morning, gentlemen. It's always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. My apologies. We're running a little late today.
I see no cause for sorrow.
So tell me what's the weather like back there? Really that bad, huh?
I think it's cold, man. You know, every 4 or 5 years we get a super bad cold snap here. I think it's 5 or 6 degrees below Fahrenheit. It's okay.
Oh gosh.
trees are starting to snap, but other than that, it's okay. But it's all relative, right? This is a spring day in Anchorage, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Isn't that the truth? So, Doc, I got a message I wanted to talk to you about from the National Vaccine Information Center that I used to be involved with years ago. And they made a big deal saying that the vaccine mandate exemptions are rising. What do you know about that, and what do you make of it?
I'm kind of out of the loop with the whole vaccine thing. Pediatrics isn't really my strong suit, and I'm not really abreast of the legalities of it. But as far as I'm concerned, the sad fact of the matter is that most people who are practicing medicine today and most people with doctoral degrees simply do not read all of the research. They'll read the abstract that's at the very beginning of the research. They won't read the full 30 pages of the research. They just read the 3-paragraph abstract at the beginning. And often the 3-paragraph abstract at the beginning of the research is extremely misleading. I am of the opinion that if a doctor actually researched and read the vaccine studies, that they would not recommend vaccines. And I'm of the opinion that no childhood vaccines are necessary at all, because all childhood illnesses are treatable with naturopathic therapeutics. They said they simply are. And again, for a reference for that, I think the world's leading expert, I try to be like Jack Kennedy. I surround myself with experts in order to make myself look better, right? Sherry Tenpenny, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny is the world's leading expert on everything having to do with vaccines. And it is her opinion, based on decades of research and clinical experience, that 0 childhood vaccines are necessary. Now, there are things to do when your child gets sick, and you should be aware of what those are, but conventional medicine is not going to tell you about any of that, because we've been underneath the jackbooted heel of a medical monopoly for over 100 years, and it's literally killing us. I mean, literally, it's killing us, depending on how you crunch the numbers. Conventional medicine is the first or the third leading cause of death in the United States. It's a leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States. And even if you don't believe statistics, then all you have to do is look around. Everybody is in agreement that we are in the middle of a chronic disease epidemic. Alzheimer's is through the roof. Autism is through the roof. Just as many people get heart disease now as they did before the use of statin drugs. Everybody is sick all the freaking time. It's a chronic disease epidemic. And why? Because the people that are in charge of the development and the delivery of medicine practice a system of medicine which is inconsistent with natural law, period. It happened on their watch. It's their fault. They need to be taken off of the catbird seat, and we need medical freedom. We need medical freedom. We need equal access to all types of medicine. Insurance needs to pay for everything, or just get rid of medical insurance altogether. And hospitals need to admit patients from doctors like myself. Universities need to do research on all types of medicine, not just MD-directed medicine, and then we have a fighting chance. Well, but in the meantime, we don't.
When you talked about the leading cause of issues, iatrogenic disease is, I believe, what it's called. And there are some estimates that estimate that iatrogenic disease, which is doctor or medicine-induced death, if you took the 3 leading causes of death as we know it, cancer, diabetes, and heart disease, and you combined all 3 of them, that iatrogenic disease would be bigger than all 3 combined.
And bigger than all deaths from all world wars combined. I think about that. My colleague, Dr. Joel Wallach, who I learned a lot of this from, a lot of my medical nutrition stuff from, he wrote he had a famous lecture that was recorded on a cassette tape back in the day when cassette tapes were a thing.
I had that tape.
Dating myself
Dead
now.
doctors don't lie.
Yeah, dead doctors don't lie. He cited all kinds of statistics about this. And look, the simple fact of the matter is, if you, again, this from the Department of Redundancy Department, but if you were a football team and you hired a new coach and your team lost every game, you're going to fire the coach because it's the coach's fault, right? We are in smack dab in the middle of a chronic disease epidemic. And it happened on the MD's watch. Because the only thing that can legally treat a disease in the United States is a drug. And the medical doctors have a lock on all things medical. And everybody thinks that I'm a quack. Nobody has any idea how to pronounce naturopathic medicine. And even though I did 8 years of medical school, you know, hundreds of hours of continuing education, got a license to practice naturopathic medicine. Even though I jumped through all those hoops, if I was to practice naturopathic medicine in Tennessee, I'd be thrown in jail. It's a felony. We are far from medical freedom, far from it. And that's the Zen sword that's going to cut through all of this nonsense. I don't know that we're going to realize it in our lifetime. I hope that we do.
Well,
I think we will.
The current administration is floating the idea that the money should go to the people, right? And let them choose versus the insurance that you brought up. Is that not a step in the right direction? Because I think free market takes over if we are given back the money and the freedom to choose the direction that we want to spend it. So maybe things are changing, Doc.
Well, when I graduated naturopathic medical school in 1991, I think there were 5 states that licensed and regulated naturopathic medicine. Now there are 24. So that's a step in the right direction. But that means there are still 26 plus Greenland that are not licensing and regulating naturopathic medicine. So yeah, it's a step in the right direction. But let's say that happens and, you know, people get to spend healthcare dollars on whoever they want. You can't do it in Tennessee. And in the 26 states that naturopathic medicine isn't licensed, you're not going to find a naturopathic doctor there because they don't want to go to jail. And oh, by the way, the only thing that can treat a disease is a drug. So even if I have hundreds of clinical results and 20 different research papers that show that a particular botanical medicine is an extremely effective treatment for childhood asthma, I can't say that it is. Because in the United States, the only thing that can treat a disease is a drug. Well, that's why when you go to the health food store, it doesn't say asthma treatment. It says lung support. It doesn't say diabetes help. It says blood sugar support. It doesn't say arthritis FX. It says bone and joint support. And if the FTC gets a hair up their ass, they can shut down anybody they want to anytime just because they can, because they exist in a monopoly. I can't emphasize this fact enough. And you know, it's okay until they come for you. And then it becomes glaringly obvious that this is a war that we're up against. Well, and Big Pharma is not going to go calmly into the night.
Well, and first off, I think you must have had some extra coffee this morning or something, Doc, because you're on a tear, and I love that. Secondly, yes, the laws are important, but I think one of the main attack vectors that we have to be aware of is people have been conditioned to believe things that aren't true. And I think that's the bigger battle. We have to educate people. That's why we do this show. We have to educate people on what is true and what is not. So although I'm with you 100% on everything you're saying, I think we have to win the hearts and the minds of the people. What do you think about that?
Well, you're absolutely correct. And so, you know, that's why I have all the information that I do on my website, right? It's self-help, health recovery information gleaned from hundreds of collective years of clinical experience of doctors like myself. But a very interesting document that I have on the website is 10 questions everybody should ask their medical doctor before they agree to a treatment, especially if it's cancer. I have 13 questions if it's cancer, but 10 questions that every patient should ask their doctor before they agree to their treatment. And if people actually had the nerve to do this, because most people won't, most people don't even, they feel extremely nervous talking to a medical professional because they feel intellectually inferior. And, you know, we've been culturally conditioned to obey authority, to genuflect at the altar of authority, even if it's bad authority. But if people were actually to ask these questions, I think that the majority of people would refuse the treatment. Because people ask more questions about the car that they're going to buy than the medical treatment that they just automatically jump into. And again, this is a function of the monopoly that's been in place for longer than anybody's been alive. And it's killing us slowly. And we need to all collectively snap out of it.
Right, 100%. Now, I want everybody to be aware that Dr. Glidden answers as many questions as we can on Fridays. But if you really have an acute issue, if you have something that you really need an answer to, you need to go to my website, samshalhoub.com, click on Dr. Glidden's button in the upper right-hand corner. You can join his website and you can ask him. He does live question and answers twice a week if you're a member. If you use the code SAM, you'll get a 30% discount. Doc, what are some of the questions that you get asked over and over again on those lives?
Well, it's about everything. I mean, everybody's sick. I mean, just last week, just yesterday, right? Yesterday, I do it Tuesdays and Thursdays. Just yesterday, I had a question about rheumatoid arthritis. I had a question about gout. I had a question about vertigo. I had a question about miscarriage. I had a question about a urinary tract infection. I had a question about post-traumatic stress disorder. I mean, it's, you know, throw a stick and hit a disease, right? I mean, everybody is sick. And it's not because that's the human condition. It's because that's what happens when you are under the care of a system of medicine which is inconsistent with natural law. I mean, I've used this analogy a million times, but it's fitting. If you take a Chihuahua duck hunting, you're coming back empty-handed. It's the wrong dog for the hunt. It simply is. MD-directed allopathic medicine is the wrong dog for the hunt for the treatment and mitigation of chronic disease, cure of chronic disease. Medical doctors are not taught how to cure anything. They're taught how to manage the illness. So the heartburn isn't cured, the depression isn't cured, the arthritis isn't cured, the fibromyalgia isn't cured. It's managed. And, you know, it's better than suffering from the illness, but it doesn't get to the root cause of the problem. So as time goes by, the drug fails. You need a second or a third or a fourth drug, and now you're SOL. And then you go bankrupt, and then you die.
Well, and isn't part of the problem too, Doc, based on the pharmaceutical business model, they will take something that was never a disease before and all of a sudden put a name on it and say, here's a new disease, restless leg syndrome or whatever it might be. And then they try to push some sort of altered, molecularly altered drug to treat a symptom, right?
Yeah, it's 100%. And because they do it because they can. And do you know why the pharmaceutical industry does so much direct-to-consumer advertising? Do you know why they do it?
Because they can.
Because it works. It
We're
works.
one of the only countries that allow that anymore, right, Doc?
100%. But they continue. Do you know how much money it is? They spend more money on advertising than they do on research and development. Do you know why they do it? Because it moves product. And, you know, this isn't rocket science. I'm all for, let's all make money, right? I'm a capitalist. I love making money, but there's a right way to do it with integrity and there's a wrong way to do it. And this is a big problem, man.
Well, and I think
it's a runaway train, Sam. And, you know, I mean, if you sat in my seat, you have, I think, more of an perspective on this than most people do because of your relationship with your brother. But honest to God, if you sat in my chair for 7 days, you'd be crying massive amounts of tears just looking at the tremendous amount of human suffering that exists in the world, all because people are taking the wrong freaking dog to the hunt. And the only reason they're taking the wrong dog to the hunt is because it's the only dog that's legally allowed to hunt. And that's a freaking gigantic problem.
Well, and part of the problem too, I think, Doc, is people, at least here in America, they're looking for the silver bullet. They want to take something to do. Whereas, you know,
that's true.
The shotgun approach, and I think that's something that you should probably talk about. You know, when we talk about the essential nutrients, when we talk about, there is no silver bullet. Is there something that may help a specific symptom? Sure. But we want to treat the underlying problem, right, Doc?
Yeah, healing is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And your body does have the ability to fix itself. Your body wants to fix itself. Your body's trying to fix itself, but it takes a while for the body to do that. And the old-time naturopathic doctors, who I think had their fingers on the pulse of disease more than the modern ones do, they said that it takes 1 month for every year that you've been afflicted in order to really get on the other side of it. So if you've had, rheumatoid arthritis for 10 years, it's going to take 10 months. It's not going to be, you take the treatment on Monday and you wake up Tuesday and you're cured. It's not like that. It's a process. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. But if you engage the process, there are a lot of perks to it because your body is a complex system of interrelated parts. And this is where the term holistic came from. And by the way, we spell that with a W at the beginning, holistic, which stands for we treat the whole person. So even though your current, the reason that you come to see someone like me might be because of a diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis, once you engage the holistic therapeutic, over time, everything gets better, including the joints. Your mood gets better, your energy gets better, your appetite gets better, your weight gets better, your sex drive gets better. A lot of things improve because guess what, folks? Everything is connected in the human body, and that's what our therapeutics do. We treat the person, not the disease. The medical doctors treat the disease. So you get one medicine for the heartburn and one medicine for the arthritis and one medicine for the back pain and one medicine for the depression and one medicine for the insomnia and one medicine for the gout and one medicine to take care of the side effects of all those medicines. And it's a shit show. It is a juvenile way to look at how the body works. And these people should be ashamed of themselves, but they're not.
Doc PJ Party said, I just ordered my second Healthy Body pack. Sam, tell everyone how 90 vitamins and minerals works, which we're going to talk about. Kim55 said, I have such bad heartburn, even when I'm eating well. Any recommendations?
Yeah, heartburns, I can fix heartburn in my sleep. It's the easiest thing in the world to fix. And by the way, this from the shameless department of self-promotion. On my website that you should go to, that you will go to right now. These are not the droids that you're looking for.
I knew you were a Jedi.
I don't know. I've at least 100 hours of instructional videos that walk you through what to do regarding whatever complaint you have. You've got heartburn, point and click. You've got asthma, point and click. Whatever it is. I tell you what the medical doctors think about it and how they manage it. And I tell you what the naturopathic doctors think about and how we attempt to cure it. It's self-help health recovery protocols, right? From the comfort of your own home. And you need to I will give you the cliff notes here, but I encourage you to go to the website and learn the whole thing, right? Because you need to know this rather than just me tell you what to do. I want to teach you how to fish, not just give you fish. So become a subscriber, click on Sam's link, use the coupon code, get a big freaking discount. I don't know, Sam.
Come on now, Doc. Come on. You love giving those discounts. So, everybody, first up, if you go to my website, samshalhoub.com, click on Dr. Glidden's button, use the code SAM, you'll get a 30% discount. If you are ready to buy the supplements, go to my website, click on the Get Your Supplements button, and order the Healthy Start Pack. What's it called now? Healthy Start or Healthy Foundation Pack?
Yeah, Healthy Foundation Pack.
Okay. That's how you get started. And it's not something that happens overnight. It takes time. You're going to be taking the supplements for a month, 3 months, 6 months, and over time, you're going to see significant changes. And I'm speaking from experience. I've been on these products for decades. I mean, literally. So this isn't a process. As Doc says, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Lee Daniel, hey, Lee's here. She said it's also a mind frame too. Fix your mind, fix your body. I think there's a lot of
that's not exactly true. And I understand and I appreciate and I respect where you're coming from. Because you have to mentally be in this game, right? But you have to be doing the right things. I mean, if you're a race car driver and you mentally really, really, really want to win, and you've done all kinds of mental training, you've done all kinds of physical training, and you are ready to go, and your tire doesn't have enough air in it, it's going to spin off the freaking rim and you're going to lose the race because you did the wrong thing, even though you were mentally prepared. So you got to do both. You can't think your way into optimal health. You can think your way into the boat of optimal health, right? Which is not easy for most people to do. It's very difficult for most people to pop out of this matrix. No kidding, especially when they're sick. And they go to the hospital, they're surrounded by millions of dollars of technological equipment and all these monkeys running around with the white coats and the stethoscopes. You know, honest to God, the medical doctor could tell most people to jump off the freaking roof of the hospital and they would do it because that's how much, you know, trust we've put in their authority.
Right.
And sometimes they get it right. Don't get me wrong. Thank God for military field medicine. Thank God for trauma care. Thank God for surgery when it's necessary. But for most of the time, you just can't drug your way to health. So heartburn, okay? The first thing to consider with heartburn, again, the medical doctors got this one completely wrong. They'll tell you that heartburn is caused by too much stomach acid. But they won't tell you how it's possible for the stomach to make too much stomach acid. They won't tell you how that happens. Oh, it's genetic. Oh, we don't know. Oh, it's probably caused by a virus. Oh, we don't know. Oh, just don't ask questions like that. Shut up and trust me. I went to Harvard, for goodness sakes. It's really difficult for the body to make too much of anything. Sometimes it can do that, but it is rare. It's really easy for the body to make not enough of things because the body needs raw materials in order to do that. Heartburn is caused by a deficiency in stomach acid, not an excess of stomach acid, a deficiency in stomach acid. And I outline that process in detail on the website. The fix for heartburn is the Healthy Foundation Pack, which includes the world's most absorbable calcium supplement, which is a big deal with heartburn. Getting on the other side of heartburn, you need calcium, an absorbable type of calcium, and you need to start salting the crap out of your food so that it tastes good. You put salt on your food so that it tastes good, and then you put a little extra salt. And if you do the foundation pack and you're salting your food, heartburn is going to disappear within 14 days. Mark my words.
Doc, Wendy said, my issue is how to implement the plan and wean my big pharma meds at the same time.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. The best way to do that is to find a pharmacist who is on your side or a naturopathic doctor who works locally. Because, right? So here's basically the drill for that. So you're on the drugs, right? Here's the drugs that you're on, and then you start the nutritional supplement protocol. You go on the nutritional supplement protocol for a couple of months, and then you start to withdraw the drugs. And the drugs should start to be withdrawn once the blood work supports the notion that the medical nutrition is working. Or, you know, you take your blood pressure at home every day. You learn how to do that. By the way, everything you've been taught about blood pressure is wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's not just incorrect. I mean, it's not just a little bit. It's wrong. I'll teach you the truth about high blood pressure and how to measure it accurately and what the real numbers are. So you need to, you know, objectively understand either through blood work or through some type of objective discovery how your illness the drugs you were being treated for is responding to the medical nutrition. And once you start to improve, as you will 83% of the time, then you start to withdraw from the meds under the supervision of a pharmacist, and then we're good to go.
Towie Bixby said, I've been increasing my salt intake since watching this channel because of Dr. Glidden.
Gotta love
Bryce
it.
said, I put salt on my
Smart man.
Benji 1959 said, what about MSG?
You know, MSG's not as big a bad voodoo daddy as everybody says it is. I don't really care about MSG. But here's what I do care about. You need to be salting your food. You need to be taking the 90 essential nutrients. You need to stop eating food that's gumming up the works. You don't want to put diesel fuel in an unleaded engine. And you want to make sure your car's tuned up. Your body's the same way. You got to top the nutritional tank up regularly with the 90 essential nutrients, and you have to stop eating food that's gumming up the works. And then every couple of months, you do some botanical medicines that help your kidney. You do some botanical medicines that help your liver. You do some botanical medicines that help your brain. You do some botanical medicines that help your ovaries or your prostate, and then we're good to go. And this is our recipe for success. You give the body the raw materials it needs to fix itself. You stop eating food that's hurting you. And when you do become afflicted with something, you treat it holistically. And most of that information's found on my website.
You talked about blood work, Doc. Some labs do certain blood work. Other labs do doctors do different blood. Like, so could you talk about the blood work and what numbers are important to really pay attention to or request when you go get it done?
Yeah. So on the website, there's a portion of the website that's dedicated to blood work. And I have a blood panel that everybody should do once a year. You click on a link. There's a company called Direct Labs. You can order the blood work yourself. You don't have to go to a medical professional. You order it yourself and you get a discount rate. Direct Labs is a lot like Costco. So you go to my website, you click on the link for Direct Labs, you order the blood work. They send you a voucher, once you've paid for it online, and they give you a list of laboratories in your zip code that you can go to for the blood draw. So you take your little voucher to the clinic, they draw your blood, and 3-4 days later, you get the results in your Direct Labs account. And then you compare your numbers to my healthy reference range that's also on the website. And if, your white blood cell count is outside of my healthy reference range, I tell you what to do for it. If your uric acid is outside the healthy reference range, I tell you what to do for it. It's all there on the website. And I made a deal with Direct Labs. You get a discounted rate. I don't make any money from the blood work that Direct Labs does, but because it's a volume thing, they give the people that click on my link a discount.
Excellent. Excellent. So last but not least, David Morrell said, the silver bullet is knowledge and logic. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in that.
Well, 100%. We have been, honest to God, if people were taught the stuff that my colleagues and I know, if you were taught this stuff in high school, it would be a whole different world that we're living in, because most people suffer needlessly, right? My people are destroyed by lack of knowledge. It's absolutely true. And why do we have lack of knowledge? We have lack of knowledge because of suppression of knowledge by mainstream medicine. And that's simply the way that it is. And the sooner you accept that as a fact, the better your life is going to be. Look, we don't have all the answers to all human ailments. We have a lot of them. And our therapeutics and our knowledge is based on actual clinical experience, and it is consistent with natural law. If, there are laws of aerodynamics, right? There are ways to fly the airplane, and there are ways to crash the airplane. And if you're flying the airplane, you better be aware of those laws and know what the hell you're doing. It's exactly the same with the human body. You need to know what to do to make yourself healthy. And the tragedy here is it's not difficult. If you're smart enough to pass the driver's license test, you're smart enough to learn what to do to help your body fix itself. You have been lied to that healing is complicated. Surgery is complicated. I do not recommend you try to do that yourself. But learning what to do to heal the body is relatively easy. You just need someone to show you what to do. And well, I'm your Huckleberry. And that's
Doc,
just
one last question. This is Mama Sass said her husband has high blood pressure, cirrhosis, diabetes, kidney disease, MGUS, amyloidosis. Please help.
Okay, so look. So you need a private appointment for all that, because that's just a lot of stuff. And so I'm happy to do that. Just give my office a call. The office number's at the bottom of my website on every page. And I treat people all around the world. I don't even have a brick and mortar practice anymore. But here's what I would like you to think about in the meantime. And here's what I want everybody in the listening audience to think about. While you and your husband have been paying through the nose medical insurance premiums your entire life, or they're just taking it out of your paycheck for Medicare. And then, when you retire, they take a portion of the Medicare to pay for Medicare B, right? So you're paying for it whether you think you are or not. While you've been doing this your entire life, giving conventional medicine all of your freaking money and all of your trust, your husband got sick. And then he got sicker, and then he got sicker, and then he got sicker while he was under the care of the MDs. Now, and you have no recourse. You can't sue anybody. You can't take anybody to court. You can't certainly get your money back for your medical insurance payments. And it is the only industry where people can fail like this and still have a freaking job. I mean, maybe Major League Baseball is the same.
Weatherman.
I don't know. Yeah. But look, right? You got sick while you were under the care of the MD. And nobody complains. Nobody questions. Nobody pitches a fit. And everybody should. And the reason that all of this compliance happens and all of this genuflecting at the altar of conventional medicine is, again, the medical monopoly that's been in place for longer than anybody's alive. And it needs to go. We desperately need medical freedom. Call my office. I'm happy to help. But look, man, your husband has to be ready to engage this process, because I'm not in the habit of pulling teeth. I used to in the past. If your husband isn't 100% on board and ready to go here, then I'm not interested. I'm only interested in helping people who want to be helped. And maybe he is. I don't know him. I have no idea what the situation is, but that's kind of how you should be thinking about this.
So one last time, everybody, go to samshalhoub.com, click on Dr. Glidden's button, use the code SAM, become a member of his website. And if you want to get the supplements, go to my website, click on the supplements button, get the Healthy Start Pack, Healthy Foundation Pack. And if you have any questions, send me a message. I'll walk you through it. I have done that with hundreds of people, and I'm happy to help any way I can. Lastly, David Morales over in the UK said, thank you sincerely for the valuable and invaluable knowledge and time you share with us, Dr. Glidden.
Luke, these bronchodilators are killing me. That was actually an ad, a radio ad that I put together when I had a private practice in Seattle like 25 years ago, and it got a lot of attention. It got me a lot of patients.
Well, we might have to put you on some sort of a stand-up comedy routine somewhere, Doc. All right, Doc. Well, thank you.
Power of the dark side.
Exactly.
Look, man, as my parting shot, and thank you so much for the platform and for your trust and for your for everything. But I just want to say this: the reason that I try to be funny is because if I didn't do that, I would be a chocolate mess. Because all I do all week long is wade through human suffering, most of which is unnecessary. So the reason that I'm, like this is because it's how I cope with all of this stuff, man, because it's bad. I'm telling you, man, as bad as you think it is, it's 1,000 times worse. People are suffering needlessly simply because of lack of knowledge that's been generated on purpose by a propagandized medical mafia that's out of freaking control. We desperately need medical freedom. Thanks for your time. Don't ever stop doing what you're doing.
That's why we're here to fight it, Doc. Shoulder to shoulder, backs against the wall. Let's go.
I'm all in. Let's go.
All right. Thanks, Doc. Have a great weekend. See you next Friday.
Too. Thank you.
All right, everybody. All right, Dr. Glidden, he is just wonderful. So grateful that he takes the time to help us and answer questions. He's just a man. He's just a good man. I'm sorry if I didn't get to all the questions. He'll be back next Friday. There's so many, you guys moving so quick. I apologize if I wasn't able to get to your question. But again, go to my website, click on Dr. Glidden's button. It'll take you to his website. Use the code SAM. And if you need the supplements, if you'd like to try the supplements, go to my website. And if you have any questions, just let me know. All right, guys. So let's shut off. We're going to be signing off of Facebook and YouTube now. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you Monday morning at 9 a.m. Hope you have a great weekend. Talk to you later. Alex, you got that?
Got you, boss.
Okay, cool. All right. Let's see. Where are we at? Holy smokes, 136,000 likes. You guys are just flipping amazing. And before we get to that, before we get to the dancing, I want to especially thank Layson Steele, Charlie, Franny Dragonfly, Mary Lise Brown, Mega Dave, Melissa Flinner, Kevin Kiesler, Kingsgirl 1974, Doug Rice 59, PJ Party, Towie Bixby, And Wendy J, the late and the list goes on. Thank you all for all the gifts. Uh-oh, did we lose Alex?
Apparently.
Oh my goodness. Hold on, everybody. Let's see. Oh man, he's not even backstage. That's weird. Oh, wait, there he is. Nope. Yep, there he is. Hold on. All right. What happened, Alex?
My computer.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh, again?
This is twice that Restream has done this. This is after the non-Sapioplex thing. I don't know, dude. Computer's
Wow.
pissed. So yeah, you'll have to turn the Restream feeds off yourself, Sam, because I was clicking those as it died.
Oh, okay. Well, can we even do the dancing if you're not able to?
Of course we can. I got more
Oh,
than one
okay.
way to skin a cat. Give me just